in the kitchen today with...
It's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. I'm drowning in your chemistry, and I can't even thank you. I see you with company.
Hi and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share my latest raw vegan recipe. I will be making a zucchini pasta and topping it with a mock ground meat. What you'll need is 3 zucchinis. You'll need mushrooms, fresh garlic, 3 core of the zucchini. You'll need some soaked dehydrated prunes. So let's get started with the zucchini noodles. What you'll do is cut the ends, and I always like to make sure that when I'm picking my zucchini that the color is vibrant green, and also that it's you want it to be firm. Alright, so I will be using my little slicer, which is made by Titan, is the brand name. And this will slice up the zucchini just like if it were noodles. It's a julienne slicer. And you can use a slicer for carrots or any kind of vegetable, pretty much in this shape of a carrot or a zucchini. And there you have the pasta. So now we're going to go ahead and make the ground meat using our mushrooms. Alright, you'll need a food processor, and you will be needing the S-blade on there. So after washing and drying my mushrooms, I will put them into the processor. And next, what you'll do is just use the pulse setting, because you don't want them to get too ground up where it'll be just one clump. So you want to make sure that they're nice and crumbled as ground meat. Alright, so I will be adding in the zucchini core that was left over from the pasta. And once pulsating, you just add those in. So we'll pulse this until everything looks pretty much evened out as far as crumbled. And give it another whirl. Great. This is a great filling also if you're making a raw lasagna. You can also use this in the layering of your raw lasagna, which I will be making soon. So stay tuned for that. Alright, it looks great. Now we're going to go ahead and start with the slicing of the green peppers. Green peppers go well with ground meat. And we'll be using the fresh cloves of garlic. Alright, so once you have peeled off the garlic, we'll set that aside for now, but we'll go ahead and slice up I'm going to use about 3/4 of this green pepper. And the way I like using my vegetables are minced. So I'm not going to add this into the processor only because I'm not making a big batch. So using smaller quantities, you can use a smaller processor, but I'm just going to chop this up by hand. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and use a piece of the red pepper. Okay, so we'll go ahead and slice this up. I just love the combination, the green pepper with a little bit of the red pepper. Alright, so now I'm going to chop this by hand with my little nifty chopper. So we'll go ahead and get this nicely minced up, as you can see. And once you reach the desired size, then you can just go ahead and we'll add this into the mixture. And I love using the fresh garlic. There's something about fresh garlic that really just brings out that Italian dish. Alright, so here we've got the mock ground meat. We're going to add in the peppers that are going to just really blend very well and just bring out that ground meat taste. Alright, so we're going to be moving on and adding in the rehydrated prunes, and this is going to be a great binding, so we'll just add that in there to bind a little bit the mixture. And prunes are great in recipes. They are loaded with fiber and they are sweet but not overpowering, so it's great if you want to make any kind of use it as a binding. Great in desserts. Alright, so now we're going to add in the spices that are going to really just enhance that ground meat taste. So what I like using is powdered cumin, and this is what's going to bring out that meat taste in the ground mock meat. I'm adding in some dry parsley, and next we're going to add in some garlic powder. Can never have too much garlic for an Italian dish. And you can use as much as desired. Add in a little sprinkle of red pepper. Alright, we'll mix that around, and then we'll add this into the mix, and we'll just mix it well. Now, adding in the spices is really what is going to make this ground meat taste as if it were ground beef. So the cumin, I highly recommend cumin in that. Now we're going to add in some of the pink Himalayan salt. And I like to use it sparingly whenever I use salt. I don't want to add too much, so I figure anybody that feels that they need to add more can do so at their own discretion and taste buds. Alright, so I'm going to be adding this portion onto a dehydrator sheet, and I'm just going to dehydrate it while I finish up for the rest of my recipe, and it will just give it a take a little of the moisture out and give it more of that meat texture. So just spreading it out evenly so that the airflow. Now whenever dehydrating, to keep it completely raw, you want to make sure to dehydrate at 108, no more than that. Alright, look how beautiful. I'm so excited about my recipe. It's so good. Alright, so now I'm going to add this into the dehydrator for just, I would say about 20 minutes. The longer you leave it, the drier the consistency, and works really well if you leave it overnight, or say 6 hours. It'll have that more of a taco. If you're working with a taco dish, it'll have that taco texture. Alright, so now let's go ahead and assemble this. So we'll start with adding in the pasta, the zucchini pasta. And this is just a great way to fill up if you're feeling hungry. You can have as much as you like. Zucchini is loaded with alkaline properties, and it's a great dish to load up. It has very little calories and very filling, and I just love making this into a pasta. All right, so now we have our dehydrated ground meat. So we'll add some of this onto our spaghetti. It did darken it a little bit, so gives it a little bit more of that authentic ground meat look. And then I have the other that I've added in some lime juice into this other mix, which you can eat it either way. Actually, I am going to use a little bit of both, but this is a very tasty recipe. I really highly recommend trying this mock ground meat. Now, if making a sauce, you can add this also on top of the sauce. Perhaps in another video I'll make the tomato sauce, and then we'll add in the ground meat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine a little bit of both. There we go. Oh, it's so mouth-watering delicious. You can also add a little bit of, we're going to add in a little, pasta dish would not be complete unless you had that Parmesan cheese on there. So what we're going to do into converting this into a raw vegan Parmesan, we're going to be using two raw Brazil nuts, and you grate this, and you have a beautiful Parmesan, well, a mock Parmesan, but it's so good. It's delicious. You can add this on your salad. It's just a very, looks beautiful and tastes so good. So there you go. Somebody that didn't know wouldn't even know that that was a Brazil nut. All right, so I hope that you will try this recipe and let me know what you think. And to make this complete, we're going to go ahead and do the taste test. This is so good. I hope you'll enjoy it. Please subscribe for my latest recipes. Thanks for watching. Remember, living foods give life. Be blessed.